Raphael's A Fairy Tale. In the ocean's depths lies a place closer to the heart of the planet than even the deepest seabed. It's Deepspace, Deepspace's most tender secret. The Dream Weaving Bureau. Okay. An axolotl. A baby dreamweaver axolotl with shiny, round eyes watches his mother intently and tries his best to mimic her movements by waving his 6 fluffy, feathery fins on either side of his head. These soft fins will one day become nimble shuttles for combing through the universe's thoughts. But for now, their master has no interest in using them for such a purpose. When Mother isn't looking, the baby dreamweaver sneaks off to chase the fish darting between the seagrass. Meanwhile, his mother, a dreamweaver perpetually bathed in a gentle soft light, weaves. Each unfurling and folding of her feathery fins moves with the rhythm of a wandering bard, regardless of the dream she crafts. Puzzled, the baby watches his mother. This work brings him no joy whatsoever, yet his mother always has a tender smile. Mother, I don't want to weave anymore. The baby dreamweaver droops his head. These words have been stuck in his throat for days, and now they finally tumble out. All right. As if she had known her son would resist his innate gift long ago, she calmly smiles. You can rest for a while. Once I find the most beautiful threads, you'll love this role. No! The baby dreamweaver shakes his head fiercely, his feathery fins flaring. He's the angriest of dreamweavers can possibly be. I don't want to weave. I don't want Mother to weave either. It's not fun. Why must we sit and weave these dreams? Why can't we swim freely like the other sea creatures? Sighing softly, Mother gathers her little one into her arms. A little fish slips away as a gentle voice whispers in the baby's ear. Once upon a time, the ocean and deep space were one. It was an age before life was created. A boundless sea cradled the slumbering earth, and the world was but a silent dream. The waters were warm, the sky hung low, and the continents, shy as children, would only peek their foreheads above the waves every now and then. Sunlight could reach the deepest depths. It nourished those first, most delicate breaths upon the seabed. And alongside those faint, fragile pulses, we came into being. Perhaps it was the dusk or at dawn. In any case, it was when the blue-violet sky brushed pink at the edges. Our very first ancestor floated in the water. With every fiber of his being, he listened to the primordial silence, and then he saw it. A strand of pure green, neither a water current, nor light or sound. It was woven from countless tiny shimmering motes. Soft as silk threads, they brushed against every inch of his skin. This thread carried the most primal and genuine of feelings. Joy under the sun and longing for the flowing water. Our ancestor was consumed with curiosity. Gently, tentatively, he reached out with his feathery fins to touch that thread. The baby dreamweaver holds his breath, his eyes akin to the full moon. A miracle happened, my dear child. When his feathery fins combed through that thread, the tangled feelings were gently guided. The scattered motes of light began to dance, and before his eyes unfurled a tapestry of so beautiful that it made his heart tremble. Seagrass was woven into forests. Tiny creatures darted past. Some were restless, and others were peaceful and warm, as if a pair of eyes were watching these lives come into being. This is how it all started. We learned to catch those wandering, fragile emotional ripples drifting through the universe. We spin them into silk, weave them into visions, and craft dreams that soothe chaos and bring about peace. Mother, where did the first thread come from? No one knows, my child. No one knows. Perhaps it was the mingled, hazy feelings of every tiny life in the ocean that stirred upon birth. Or it was the murmur of one paramecium in a distant lake. Maybe it was a sigh whispered by Deepspace in the midst of a dream. In any case, those threads have always been there, always waiting. We learned to listen and weave them. The baby dreamweaver pulls his feathery fins. Their tips now flushed a rosy red in front of his eyes. He gently rubs them with his tiny claws. He's rarely ever this quiet. All right. This is something. So I don't have any comments yet. I don't want to eat what you made for dinner. I only want chicken nuggies and dino nuggies. The rosy flush slowly fades from the baby's feathery fins, and they return to their usual pinkish white. The little dreamweaver edges forward as if to try again, but he pulls back at the last minute. With his head lowered, he quietly asks, Mother, what happened next? How did the threads become what they are now? Gone is the whining from before. Only pure curiosity remains. Mother's eyes shimmer with a gentle dancing light. Before we get to that, my child, we have a long story that must be told. She guides her little one through the glowing seagrass. They drift upward to a place the sunlight can still reach, and they settle upon a great giant clam adorned with beautiful blue frilled edges. Infold. I know what you did. That's not cool. Uncool. Infold. The world around them is lively. After that first thread was woven into a green forest, some 500 million moonsets before our time, in an age the stones themselves remember as the Cambrian era. This world, silent for a long time, awakened seemingly overnight. The ocean, our eternal home, transformed into a wondrous, teeming paradise. Countless beings never before took on form beyond our wildest imagination. Every shape you could ever dream of appeared in those days. Every color you could behold bloomed. The baby's feathery fins excitedly fluttered as bright lights flashed from his eyes. That must have been lively. Indeed, but it was also infinitely more complex. A new creature brought feelings never felt before. So our threads bloomed into countless hues. Green was for life, but there was a gray-blue for fading. The orange red of hunger when a hunter first tastes prey, and the white of fear from those who fled. If the struggle from claiming territory, in the struggle of claiming territory, black threads of fury clashed in the undertow. And in the search for a mate, ribbons of pastel bliss rippled through the currents. Mother looked down at her baby's 6 feathery fins. They've unfurled without him noticing and tremble ever so slightly. Her smile becomes gentler. The ocean became a boiling, churning dye house woven from countless vivid hues. More threads appeared, the thick layers so tangled that our feathery fins alone could no longer comb through all these colorful threads. Thus, through countless generations of listening and trying, we evolved. With the slender, delicate tips of her feathery fins adorned with countless tiny sensitive filaments, she gently brushes the fuzzy end of her baby's fins. The little one shudders. See these soft, downy fibers? Each one is the keenest of weaving needles. They trace life's pulse into dreams for the sleeping. That was our first true flourishing, my child. The wisdom to perceive, granted to us when the universe was born, made us the most focused, most faithful witnesses to the carnival of life. In those days, we lived in vast creative joy and weaved the most beautiful tapestries the world had ever seen. The giant clam begins to snore, and the bubble rises. It carries within it a saffron yellow thread that floats up and becomes entwined around the baby's fuzzy fins. It tickles, and the little dawn weaver giggles. For the first time, he thinks that maybe dream weaving isn't that bad. I'm trying to pick out what this would be, but I've got nothing. I've got nothing. I'm really not sure how literal we should take this. No, I don't. I'm trying to figure out what it is, because it's definitely like a bedtime story, but I feel like there is, Infold doesn't do anything for no reason, obviously, but I don't know. I just don't know what this would be. The giant clam's snoring slowly fades, and those bubbles wrapped in saffron yellow threads drift apart and pop one by one. The baby Dreamweaver is still lost in the splendor of the Cambrian era. What happened next, Mother? He lifts his head, his eyes shining with thirst for knowledge. Why can't we see those soft threads anymore? The gentle light in Mother's eyes dims for a second, but he doesn't notice. She draws her little one closer. The giant clam awakens, shaking its great body as it swims away. Together, mother and child sink once more into the depths of the sea. Very few lives can stay the same forever, my child. Likewise, only some beautiful songs repeat a single note. Ages passed, and many of our dreamy tapestries overflowed and flourished. Our sensitive synapses grew accustomed to the softness of those threads. Mother parts the darkness to reveal a mass of tangled threads, a suffocating, murky, dark green, marbled with charred black and scarred with red streaks, like the raw marks left by sharp rocks against skin. And then a long night descended. It was a wail that swept across the entire planet. It rose from the ocean's howl, every breath of the air, every shudder of the earth. Dreams were no longer filled with joy, sorrow, or fear. There was only suffocation. It were as if the world had turned to thick, viscous tar, and all life struggled in vain. Invisible flames spread from the seabeds and scorched the foundations, upon which all living things depended on. An endless void made the threads sprout, agonizing thorns. Many vanished in that night. They never woke up. They no longer dreamed. In other words, their entire species found an eternal rest. We call it the eradication of civilization. Death was no longer a ripple stirring every now and then in the river of life. It was a grand eradication that silenced the land and returned the ocean to stillness. I don't know yet. I don't think so. Because this is specifically saying about the grand eradication. I have to think on that a little bit more. Joy's light flickers out. The baby Dreamweaver's wide eyes hold nothing but shock and fear. Then what did we do? We wove, my child. Mother's voice remains soft and calm. We had no choice but to weave. It is our mission. Even as the flame of one species was extinguished forever, those who remained still fought to survive. Thread by thread, strand by strand, we gathered what we could and tried to channel the howling and agony into something the world could bear. We wove terrible, twisted nightmares in hopes they could hold the despair. Maybe they wouldn't tear apart the fabric of reality. She falls silent for a long, long time. The child thinks the story has ended. Then she speaks more slowly in a softer voice. And yet we were wrong. To feel life's pulse and sense the joy of sorrow of all living things, this had been our gift. But in the long night, it became the cruelest torture. The baby Dreamweaver makes a horrifying discovery. Upon Mother's body, always aglow with the gentle light, are scars. Faint lines trace the tips of her sensitive, feathery fins, the roots of her limbs, and the skin nearest her heart. You see them, don't you? Mother tenderly strokes those marks with her claws. Our kind is blessed with the gift of regeneration. A broken heart can mend itself anew. An exhausted mind can be restored. And even a severed limb will slowly sprout like the flesh, like a fresh blood. Like a fresh bud. I turned that horrible. But the despair of an entire planet spread faster than we could have healed. Our synapses couldn't bear the weight. Whenever we combed through those charred, tangled threads and wove suffocating agony into shape, our bodies were torn apart and devoured. The baby Dreamweaver clamps the 6 feathery fins over his ears. He doesn't want to hear anymore, but his mother gently teases apart the tangle of threads. She pulls out a beautiful peacock green strand. It's bluer than life's beginnings, like an emerald from the deep sea vein that was kissed by golden sunlight. Do not be afraid, my child. I'm still here, which means we were blessed enough to survive that night. She cradles the shimmering thread. Just as we did when we first came into being, we returned to this seabed, the place closest to the planet's heart, and fell into a deep slumber. For 30 million years, the world was silent once more, and we slept, waiting to be awakened again by life. The baby Dreamweaver twines the peacock green strand that's still flecked with tiny grains of sand with the soft saffron yellow. As he works, the feathery fins on either side of his head feels as light as air, as heavy as stone. Before his eyes, a tapestry unfurls. The sea and the land are woven into form. She keeps talking about closest to the planet's heart. But then they keep talking about the grand eradication and eel called viper. And that's just, those are the 2 things that I'm holding on to right now. This is the baby Dreamweaver's first creation. The threads mother placed in his tiny claws awaken something within him. For the first time, he understands how wondrous this gift truly is. As the silks glide through the delicate synapses located at the tips of his feathery fins, he listens with every fiber of his being. Finally, he tastes the emotions lingering in the giant clam's dream. A longing for sunlight, a quiet determination to grow. Mother, did the world teem with life again after that night? It's a question he can't help but ask. I think this proves that Lemuria is directly connected to a lot of this stuff. We know as a civilization, they have some interesting things going on. That's true. I just don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I guess you did say that there's like a lot. Yes, this world always finds a way to live again, but it's never quite the same. Mother brushes a feathery fin across her child's first creation. After so many years of weaving the dreams in this age, her feathery fins have lost the softest sensitivity of youth. Yet the memory of touch remains as vivid as ever. Before her eyes rise visions of the most magnificent creatures she has ever witnessed, which is followed by the grandest radiance she has ever woven. The ebb and flow of life are the universe's tides. When the waters recede, the land becomes a new sanctuary for new lives. The cutest piece I wove came from a little fern. It clung to life in a gap between the rocks. In its dream, each of its fronds become a tiny drawer. And when those drawers open, I'm so little universes made of all manner of spores rested inside them. The sun, it imagined, was a rainbow rolled into a lollipop. Then even grander silhouettes appeared upon land. The dinosaurs, the most magnificent tapestry I ever created, came from them. In those dreams, colors spread in great, bold swaths. Plants towered to pierce the clouds. When the dinosaurs ran, the earth shook beneath their feet. How big were the dinosaurs? Well, as big as whales. Wow, why can't I see them anymore? The world fell silent once again. The dinosaurs vanished, swallowed by skies, choked with ash and the white of the endless winter that gripped the globe. And so we retreated to the deep sea once more to compose requiems for the finale of the Cretaceous era. When the last note faded and the final dream unraveled, we dragged our broken bodies into another slumber. We rise and fall over and over like one's breath. The baby dreamweaver tilts his head, his feathery fins flailing about like little claws, grasping at thoughts. When his small eyes begin to sparkle once more. And then? Oh, I know. After every tide, this planet welcomes new visitors. And then, a note of reverence steals into Mother's voice. Humanity was born. Their dreams are no longer simple with their eyes simply what their eyes behold or what their bodies feel. Their dreams reach beyond the present. They hold regrets about yesterday, hopes for tomorrow, and yet this isn't the most wondrous part. Mother's eyes begin to shimmer with a light never seen before. There's a brilliant splendor when they dream of each other. It's no longer the simple attraction or intimidation between animals, nor the pure urge to survive or reproduce. The colors that surge through their dreams can be veiled in ivory, the courage to walk into danger and oblivion for the sake of another soul. They can also give rise to a light of crystalline and diamonds, the steadfast will to gaze upon the stars and dream of touching them. Their feelings have granted us the richest tapestries we have ever created. Sound, color, rhythm, and every sensation are woven together into new art forms. It's an art that's vivid and immersive. It's as though within each small human body lies a newborn universe, aching to exist. The baby Dreamweaver hasn't felt so exhilarated before, but when a new thread becomes entwined around his fins, he finally realizes the chill never faded. A light that's too bright casts the darkness of shadows. Those beautiful colors began to clash and blend until they grew foul and tainted. The curiosity that once sparked exploration transformed into a greed that would devour all things. Within selfless love, the thorns of possession took root. And in that radiance of life, the seeds of death began to churn. We watched as our home was upended by curiosity. We buried, with our own hands, dear friends whose bones were picked clean by those who wielded a weapon in the name of love. In their dreams, we found a splendor beyond anything we'd ever known, and something else we had never witnessed. A black hole, a void. Mother's gaze lands on her child's feathery fins. With scarred hands, she tears away the fibers clinging to those tender synapses. Where they scraped across the skin, pink transforms into an angry red, and blood begins to seep. Is this? Okay. Also, hi Sky and hi Cece. I still have no comments. I don't... This one is very, I wish I had more commentary on it. It is a lot to take into. It's really, it's really interesting. Confusing at best. I think it's not so confusing. I don't think it's actually supposed to be literal. I think it's supposed to be, yeah. Notes when reading through this and had nothing clear as mud. Sorry. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one, because I'm like, I feel, listen, as a streamer, I feel bad when I don't have any extra commentary to add to something because I want this to be interesting. But I literally have like nothing to add to this. It's so, I mean, it's interesting in its own right. I'm not going to deny that. And I don't think it's so literal that this is like actually something that happened. I'm trying to find the meaning behind it. I have nothing, just making notes about what the mother is giving us. I have so many thoughts, but I saved them until the end. Okay. I think it's metaphorical. That's what I was trying to go. I'm looking forward to hearing some. Yeah, I am too. All right. I think we're almost there. Is that why the threads exist like this now, Mother? Yes. They are no longer threads, my child. They have a new name now. They are thorns. Mother gazes upon the tapestry before her. She cannot recall when it happened, when those soft, singing, glorious silken threads first grew hard shells and sprouted barbs. After all, in the long chronicle of this planet's dreams, the age of humanity is in the last few seconds. It's short, easy to be forgotten. Mother, can they change back? I don't know, my child. Perhaps this world will fall silent once more when the hues are no longer pure against the thorns. Unlike the cataclysm of ages past, this silence may occur without thunder or flames. It may creep in quietly, ordinary as any other day, and settle down when they stay silent despite their conscience, when they turn a blind eye to beauty. And perhaps we will have no more dreams left to weave. Will we disappear? I'm not sure. In the end, we are artists who chronicle civilization through our creations. Humanity once sought from us the secret of eternal life, a way to escape death. But we ourselves do not know the answer. Maybe this planet will be undone one day, and when that day comes, with nowhere left to go, we shall drift apart alongside the mountains and lakes and seas and scatter into deep space. On land, humanity continues to enact its tragic comedies that are too tangled to fully unravel. They're dazzling in their brilliance, yet chaotic beyond measure. The baby dreamweaver nestles close to mother, his eyes shiny and bright. He looks at the unfinished tapestry woven from thorns. With trembling feathery fins, he reaches out alongside mother, and together they complete the final corner of the dream. Although his powerful gift of regeneration swiftly covers each wound as he with new tissue, mother always knows about the pain her child has yet to speak. To have brought you into this age, my child, I'm sorry. Oh, that's so sad. I want to hold on to, what was it? I want to hold on to all of this part where she speaks of humanity and eternal life and stuff like that. I don't think it's direct, but I do think it's interesting that in a seemingly metaphorical story that they're sort of using this literal thing that's happening with the Lemurians. I don't think these are Lemurians, obviously, because they were very clear that these are axolotls. But it's just it's very strange that they are including something that we've seen or read about in our in the story with something that is clearly, almost a breaking character. It's very clearly, this has been a very clear metaphorical story through the whole thing. So I just want to hold on to that because I think it's very interesting that they did that. I think it's very interesting that they did that. Somewhere in this world, a human stirs from slumber, and on the far side of the earth, a child by the sea fights drowsiness and asks one last question before sleep takes hold. Why don't the dreamweavers just stop? If dreamweaving hurts so much, Then why do they keep weaving for humans? Or they could just weave the pretty ones. Okay. I need to hold on to that as well, because I know that's very metaphorical, but it's very interesting. That's all. It's very interesting. The old butler gently closes the book of fairy tales. A sea breeze slips through the window, and the seashell wind chime beneath the eaves rings once. It's as soft as a whisper. Then peace returns. Children, if you had never seen ugliness, how would you know what beauty is? If the sun only rose but never set, and the sea only took but never breathed into clouds. The drowsy children fall into a thoughtful silence. One shakes their head uncertainly. Then a soft voice tinged with sorrow speaks. Yeah, it sounds like the sun and the sea would be dead. The child lifts their face, and the others turn to look at the old butler too, their bright eyes covered with a thin veil of tears. Oh, these poor children are being traumatized. The old butler smiles. Exactly. For the Dreamweavers, what to weave and whether to weave were never choices to make. It's simply the way they exist, like breathing. Breathing in the bitter cold stings. Breathing in the desert can be suffocating. But does life stop breathing because it hurts? The old butler dims the warm bedside lamp. Starlights from the deep space drift through the window and spill into the room. It settles softly upon each small, upturned face. The Dreamweavers never stopped weaving, not because they believed they could prevent the end or because they were ordered to. I think it was precisely because they knew all too well that death is inevitable. The old butler looks out the window, his eyes finding galaxies, distant stars. In deep space, humanity is no different from the Cambrian period trilobites, the Jurassic period's dinosaurs, the frozen plains mammoths, or us. What the Dreamweavers wove was proof of one's existence, a testimony to how life once burned, how it struggled, and how beautiful it was. It's like when we draw pictures and sing songs. Yes, it's like how we create with our lives. Even if we vanish one day, so long as the songs are still hummed and our works still endure, then all that lives, all the lives that have come and gone in deep space, they won't exist in vain. Young faces reveal earnest pride. These little chroniclers of deep space's civilization have finally decided it's time to go to bed. They'll need their energy to greet tomorrow's mission. The old butler walks to the windowsill, a figure leaning quietly against the outer wall, has listened to the story alongside the children. The butler follows his gaze towards the distance. There lies the sea, deep and fathomless, and deep space, vast and boundless, merging gently into one. All right. I'm opening up the floor to you guys. I definitely think it's a metaphor. I feel like I have to sit on this one for a little while. The floor is floored. The floor is empty. This is an allusion to Rafa's lore. Okay. Because I was hoping for something that might answer some questions after the last update, and it just proved me more questions. You have the floor because I know you had thoughts, yeah. I mean, human myths have fates weaving. I see this very much as the devs telling us to enjoy them ripping out our hearts. I want to agree with Nori. Definitely think it's something like that. Definitely old traditional stories. Yeah, it's not... Has there been another world underneath like this? I don't remember. I take it back. The floor is confused. I still definitely lean that this is metaphorical, or, you know. But yeah, that we come back to, yeah. Put them together the story. I definitely don't feel, after reading it, that it has anything to do... There hasn't been one that went in such a metaphorical direction. So we know in Tour yesterday, Amun mentioned that LSG put Whalefall City into a pocket of deep space thousands of years ago. That is not part of the Sea God's powers. Oh, okay. Keep going. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Could be metaphorical to explain the children about extinction events in a way not to send them into despair. I don't think it's that either. And I believe that was why they were able to escape to the previous eradication. Is this why Raf calls him is Old Butler? No, his Old Butler is like literally, he took care of Rafayel after he went to the surface. Actually, I think before? It's like literally his butler. Actually, Nori might be onto something. And the only reason I think that is because Rafayel refers to his mother as Talia's sister and the woman who raised me. So it implies that Rafayel is adopted. You've got my attention. Raphael's evil is fire, which very much imposed to water. They're similar in that both lend themselves to creation. Also, all of the power flowing to him in Tour yesterday came from all bodies of water and space. I think Nori has some good points. We still don't know what he did to come back at the end of 2. Oh, you're right, we don't. What I'm saying is Raphael is special, and we have been getting red Stellarums lately, so fourth myth origin, maybe. Okay. No, I can get that. I can get that. No. No, I think you're onto something, Nori. I have to sit with it still a little bit longer, but I think you are onto something, and I will hold on to that while I review this one, because it's definitely of the heaven, basically. Yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to hold on to, because there's been a lot of mention of how the ocean was once in deep space, or how the ocean was once the sky, or something like that. So I think this definitely could allude to something like that as well. Yeah, this one they went full metaphorical on this one though. And is interesting. I just thanks Infold for even less information than you normally give us.